Alright, for today's episode, I'm going to be making a creeper farm that's going to produce me like 10 stacks of gunpowder per hour. And I'm going to use this gunpowder to get fireworks for my elytra. So now let's place down a chest and gather all the materials I'm going to need. First thing I want to need is some wood, so let's go ahead and chop down a whole bunch of trees. And after chopping down like 10 trees, I need to turn all this into trapdoors. And that's about like 8 stacks of trapdoors, and that's probably not going to be enough, but let's go ahead and collect some more wood. And I also spent this night killing some creepers for some extra gunpowder, so that way I can have some firework rockets until the farm's complete. Then I chopped down some more trees, and then I traded with a librarian in hopes of getting Unbreaking 3. And after like 5 minutes, I was able to get Unbreaking 3 for 22 emeralds. Then I put Unbreaking 3 on my elytra and my chest plate. And now I have a full set of prop 4 Unbreaking 3 armor. And then I refreshed another librarian's trades in hope of getting Silk Touch. And then I got Silk Touch for 8 emeralds after like 10 minutes. And then I put the Silk Touch pickaxe on, or the Silk Touch book on my diamond pickaxe. And this was so that way I can get a whole bunch of stone. And then after like 30 minutes of mining, I got like 10 stacks of stone bricks, and I also got some slabs as well. The next thing I needed was some glass, so I headed over to the nearest desert or beach and began collecting a whole bunch of sand. Once I got back, I smelted the sand into glass, and then I killed a bunch of fish. The reason why I killed fish so that way I can get some cats, and by the way, this village is like 2,000 blocks away. And then I got my second cat right here, and then I just had to bring them back to my base. Once I got back to the base, I sheared a bunch of sheep. And this is what the material list was looking like right now, and I was almost complete on gathering everything I needed to build this farm. I just needed a little bit more wool, some water buckets, and some chests, as well as some hoppers. And I also bred the cats, that way I can get more cats for this farm. And after I was done gathering all the materials, I put them in 2 of my shulker boxes. And now it's time to get to work on start building this creeper farm. Oh, and it's day 87, by the way. And at this point I already had an army of like 5 cats already. And this build needs to be built in the middle of the ocean, so here I was building in the middle of the ocean. Then I needed to build up 120 blocks, and then I needed to build a platform, and this was the platform I was going to be killing all of the creepers from. I set up the storage system, and then I raised up this pillar by like 20 blocks. And then I made a platform where all the creepers were going to fall down into that hole where I would just kill them. This is what the platform was looking like, and then I just had to fill it all in. And then I had to do a outline of glass around the border. And then I had to place water all around the glass. And then I began to work on building the platform where the creepers would spawn. This is what the platform looked like, and then I just have to fill this in like this. And then I had to raise up this by 1 block, and then I placed some carpets on these stone bricks, and then I needed a certain pattern so that way spiders didn't spawn. And I placed trapdoors in the middle where I would put a cat inside, but before I did that I needed more stone, so I chopped down some stone. And then I brought over the first cat. And with this cat right here, this is layer number 1 complete. Then I put trapdoors around the edges, and then I built up 3 blocks and began to work on the second platform. This platform was going to be the exact same as the first, and once I was done with it, I placed trapdoors on the bottom to make the first 4 completely complete. And then I raised up this glass platform, placed more carpets, and then this is what I call efficiency right here. And then I put a cat in here, and then that was layer number 2 complete. And with this cat, this is number 3. Then I needed more resources like sand, stone, and wood. Don't ask me why the forest is on fire. And with this cat, that is layer number 4. And this is what it was looking like after 4 layers, which was pretty good. I wanted to do like 7 or maybe even 10 layers. And that was layer 5. And then I decided that that was going to be enough. And I began to work on the roof of the farm. The farm called for 10 layers, but I decided to do 5 because that was already going to be more than enough gunpowder that I'll probably ever need. And then I got to work on this slab roof. And this is what the roof looked like when it was done. And just to make sure the roof was right, you can see the client light is at 0, so that means the creepers can spawn. And unfortunately, the farm is not working. I'm just joking. It is working perfectly fine, and the creepers are dropping down into here perfectly fine. All I have to do is just smack them with the sword, and I get a bunch of gunpowder. But there's one thing I can do to make this farm a lot more efficient. I started trading with a librarian in hopes of getting a looting book. Just like that, I got looting 2 for 12 emeralds. That took like 30 minutes, by the way. And then I combined the 2 looting 2 books for looting 3 and then put it on this insane netherite sword. And this was going to make the rates like 3 times better. So then I decided to AFK for like a half an hour and see how much gunpowder I'll get. Okay, I got lazy, and this is like 15 minutes, and that is way more than I was thinking. That's like 10 stacks of gunpowder, which is actually like way more than I thought it was. And if I did 10 layers, this would have been like 20 stacks, which would just be way more than I need. And it's day 97, by the way. And just with that little bit of paper right there, that is already basically 5 stacks of fireworks, which is already insane. So the only problem with me making a creeper is I need lime dye, and I can either find a warm ocean, which is really rare, or a desert so I can get a cactus, which is like rare as well. So I think I'm just gonna search probably for a desert. This might take a while, so I should probably make sure I'm stocked up on fireworks and also stocked up on food. Luckily I have a chicken farm. Well, guess let's get to exploring. Is this a desert? Cactus! Oh my god. I need to grab like so much of this stuff. I thought I'd never be so happy to see cactus in my life. Oh, you're not a cactus. Get out of here. You're not one either. Okay, I got 5 stacks of terracotta. That should be enough, so let's go ahead and head home. Need to go in this direction. And after extremely long time, I've made it back using almost a stack of fireworks. Okay, there we go. I thought Google lied to me for a second, but it should be good. Do that. I think this is how you do this. It's a pretty good amount of concrete powder. Okay, I think I have most of the materials I'm going to need, so now let's head over to the creeper farm and get started on this build. Okay, this is what I got done so far, and I am already out of lime concrete. And then a stack of lime. Okay, there we go. I did not know it would make that many. Okay, this should be enough though. Let's get back to work. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. And now let's do one more fly, and okay, that looks pretty good. I still feel like it's uneven. That looks really good. That actually looks like a creeper too. Okay, so now what I have to do is just mix in a little bit of detail And that's why I also brought some lime terracotta, so let's move this back. Oh wait, I didn't even know I had black concrete powder in here. I would have just used that. Oh my. Oh my god. And there we go, that's how it looks. I think it looks pretty good. And to be honest, I think this is gonna wrap up the episode. This took like 10 stacks, probably more concrete than that, to get done, and that's only one side. It'll take me an extremely long time to finish this. I will finish it one day, but I think it's not gonna be on this episode. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all on the next video.